everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so excited to have you here today. In today's video, we are going to be using Kittl to create our own SVG. I'm going to show you all of the steps and how easy it is to use Kittl to make your own designs. I designed this one very quickly, very simply, and you can really have a lot of fun with Kittl. Now they're offering us a coupon code so that you guys can save 25% off when you sign up with Kittl. The code is CorinneYT. I'll link it down below, that way you can sign up. I have really been enjoying Kittl. There are so many great features, but in this one, we're gonna go ahead and feature how to make an SVG, but I'll link the rest of my Kittl videos down below for you so you can check them out. Without further ado, let's get started. To create our own SVG here in Kittl, you're gonna go to New Project, and it's going to ask you to choose a size for your project, and I just usually do the default size. The default size is the artboard size of 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels, and that's fine. So I'm going to click Create, and what I want to do is I'm going to create a fun little SVG that we can use over in Cricut Design Space. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Elements section, which is this little circle and square, and I want to search for a smiley face that I can use. So I like to use the word smile. That'll work fine. You choose whichever style you want, but I want something kind of simple and cute, and I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. Now we can change the colors in Kittl, but it's not going to translate over into Design Space. That's just something that I think is a flaw with Cricut. So just keep in mind, whatever colors you make them, it's not going to matter here because we're going to mess with it over in Design Space. Now I want to add some text, so I'm going to click these two little T's right here, and that's how we add text. Now you can use one of their like pre-made texts, or you can add your own. So I'm going to click Add Headline, and the text will come up over here on to your artboard. Now I'm going to move this out of the way of our smiley, and the top line is going to say keep. Oops, not spelled correctly. It's not. We're going to use the word keep. Now with this, you can do a lot of things to change up this design. I'm going to go over here into my text, my font selection, and there are legitimately thousands of fonts that you can choose from in here. So I would just kind of scroll through, see if you find something that you like, whatever you want to do. There are tons and tons of fonts, and it's really fun just to like click on them and see what they look like. Now with this, I kind of want maybe a little bit more of like a retro style, something maybe in this kind of a realm. So I'm going to scroll through and look and try a couple different fonts and see if I find one that I like. I like this Cherry Bomb one. I think this one's really cute. Kind of the look I'm going for. I was kind of between that one and Chico. And actually, now that I kind of see Chico again, I'm going to go Cherry Bomb. I just like that one a little bit better. So once I have the font that I want, I can make it bigger by using the tabs over here. And I can do lots of different things to change up the way this font looks. I don't have to just leave it like this. So if you go down here, under where you selected your font, you're going to see there's a transformation option. And with this, you can do all sorts of things. You can wave it, you can distort it in different ways, you can make it a complete circle, you can angle it, you can arch it, rise, wave. There's so many different things that you can do, but you'll notice that you have these little nubbins, as I would call them. And you can use those little dots to change the way the font is moving, or like the way that it's waving. So if you grab one of those, you can kind of mess with it, play with it, see kind of how you can move it around. Say we don't like that, we want to try a different one. So just keep trying different things and look at how cool, like you can jumble them all up. There's just a lot of ways to play with this and to make it look the way you want it to. So if you use this arch option, you can actually arch it so that your letters on the ends are nice and big, or you can do it like this direction where they're a little bit smaller on the sides. You can play with this. I mean, there are so many things to play with to make this font the way you want it to be. The wave is really fun. This is similar to like Wavy in Design Space, but you have more options to change the way you want it. And if you don't want it that curved, you can play with the curve. You can also reset it. So if you went too far, you're like, you know what, that's not what I was looking for. You can just change that up. There's also decoration, which this one isn't going to translate over into your Design Space. So more so just to play with, but I wouldn't mess with that one for Design Space. I'm actually going to use the circle one because I do want it to go around my smiley face. And you can see that if I expand my circle, it kind of just expands this. But let's say I want to make my font a little bit bigger. I can either use this sizing section here, or I can just expand it by clicking this. So you do what you want to do. I think I don't hate that. I think that actually looks cute. All right. I don't love the P as much, but it's fine. I'm going to leave it. So then I want to add another headline, and then this one's going to say smiling. And I want to use that same font, and I'm going to just pull this out so that I have a little more space in my text box. But if you go to your font, you'll see that the ones that you've chosen and tried will be at the top. So it's easy to find the same font. And I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to select that font and I'm going to use that transform and I want to make it in a circle. But what I want you to notice is that, notice that my circle, my smiling's on the top. If I click direction inversion, like right down here, direction inverted, you'll see, once I pull this back up, that it is on the bottom of the circle, which is what I wanted. Now, again, we do want to make this bigger so that like the smiling actually stands out on our design. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Now, like I said, I'm going to change the colors on these just so you can see that the colors won't transfer in Cricut Design Space. So I'm just going to kind of play with the colors really quick. Doesn't matter what color I make them. This is just to show you what I mean. Now, if you click on your design, I want you to see down here, you have layers. So I'm going to go ahead and push this down so that you can see you've got all the different layers. You've got smiling and keep, and then you have your happy face illustration and your background. Now, we don't want the background on our design. So what you can do is hide the background, and you'll see now you don't have any background. And what I want you to do is click download. Now, for this, you want to download it as an SVG, so select under file type SVG. I always choose remove background, and I do choose optimize quality. I don't notice a huge difference, but definitely go for it if they offer it. And then we're going to click download. I'm going to go ahead and save this into my folder where I keep all of my Kittl stuff, and I'm going to call it Keep Smiling. And then we're going to go over to Cricut, and I'm going to show you how to upload this. Over in Design Space, click New Project and then click Upload. We're going to upload the image that we just created in Kittl to our Cricut Design Space. So click Upload Image. You can either drag and drop the file or browse for it. I want to grab the Keep Smiling SVG. And remember, I said that it does not matter what color we made it because for whatever reason, Cricut Design Space doesn't believe in the fact that it's colored. It's fine because we can change it because they're all separate layers. So what you're going to do is click continue, and you can change any of the naming, add tags to it, whatever you want to do, and click upload. Now, because this is an SVG, we don't have to do anything too crazy to it, but you'll notice that it looks like you just have a big circle in the middle. Don't worry, it's fine. Because, like I said, all of your design pieces are here. They're just in the wrong colors. So I'm going to change the circle here to yellow. And look at that. Your smiley face is back. You also then can change all of the colors of your text as well to whatever you want them to be, if you want them to cut on different colors. And I'll zoom out so you can see the entire design. Now, I also want to point out to you that everything will come in grouped. So if you want to move things individually, you will need to ungroup them. And you'll also have to ungroup your smiley face because that came in as a group on its own. Now, here's the one thing that I would change about this before I went to cut it. Our smiley face is actually, the black part is like an outline, and then the yellow fits inside of that. Instead of that being the smile that we have, I would actually change this up just a little bit. So the way I'm going to do this, let me hide the wording just so it's out of our way. I'm going to go ahead and select both of these items, and for now I'm just going to align them center. So what I want is I want the background to be a solid piece, and I want the front part to have the eyes and the mouth cut out of it, so the yellow will layer on top of the black. Not only will it look nicer, but it'll be easier to line up as well. So in order to do this, we can do this a couple ways. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to duplicate the entire design because we're going to need 2 of these to work with this. What I want to do first is I am going to take the black layer here and I'm going to contour it, and I just want to hide this whole middle section and then fill in the mouth and the eyes. Now you'll notice that it is ready to go kind of behind our yellow. But we have this yellow now that we, what are we supposed to do with that? Glad you asked. I want to take this second black piece. I'm going to contour it. And this time I just want to contour out the circle on the outside and the circle on the inside, leaving just the smile here. Then I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to send this to the back. And I'm going to go ahead and take both of these and I'm going to align them and center them. Now, do you notice that it looks the same? Your black is a little bit thinner, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and I can delete that other yellow one. We don't need it. But what we need to do is slice out this, which I'll make the color change to. We need to slice out the face from the yellow piece because we want that black to show through without having to layer it. So all I'm going to do is use the slice option. And now if I move these out of the way, you'll see that our smiley face is back and the way we wanted it. Then you can bring your words back in, line everything up again, and voila, you have an adorable design. Now this is super easy to do when you're working with Kittl. It's so simple. Make sure to use code CORINNEYT when you do sign up because you'll save 25%. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out so you can see what it looks like and how cool it is. I am going to make this a bit smaller. It's a little bit large before we cut it out. So I'm going to make this just a bit smaller. I don't want to go too tiny, but we'll make it a little smaller. And we're going to get ready to cut this out. I want to save my project before I do anything else. So I'm just going to call it Keep Smiling and click Save. Then all I want to do is click Make on our screen. And we're going to have 3 different mats. We're going to have our black circle. You're going to have the yellow circle that goes on top of the black circle to create your smiley face. And then you're going to have your Keep Smiling words. Now, I could have attached the words to keep them separated, but I'd rather do it this way to save myself just a little bit of vinyl. And you can actually save yourself even more vinyl if you flip smiling upside down, and you can tuck it in to keep a little bit. So if you want to use a slightly smaller piece of vinyl, you can absolutely do that. Now we're going to cut this with some adhesive vinyl, show you how to layer it really quick, and then you've learned how to make a very simple and quick SVG using Kittl. So let's head over to the Cricut. Now that I have all my pieces cut out and weeded, we can go ahead and put the transfer tape on and get everything lined up. So the first trick that I'm going to give you is I'm going to open up my transfer tape here, and I'm actually going to place it on top of this, but with the sticky side up and this under it. And then I'm going to cut my transfer tape so that I can fit the whole thing onto that design. Now I'm going to cut this down in a minute, but I'm not worried about it right this second. Now our first layer is our smiley face. So I'm going to show you a quick little trick. I'm going to put this right over this, but with the sticky side up. And then I'm going to take my smiley face, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but this will just help you line it up once you have the transfer tape ready to be put on the whole design. So I put my smiley face down. Then I'm going to take my squeegee and I'm going to go ahead and burnish my smile down. And I'm going to remove the backing from this. And this is so cute, such an easy SVG to make. Now I'm going to take my big black circle, and that's going to go under my smile, and I'm going to use some parchment paper to help me line my smile up. That way I make sure that it's exactly where I want it to sit. So you're going to kind of put the smiley face with just a little bit of a tail hanging out over your parchment paper, and then you're going to line it up with the black until you're happy to where it's like centered enough that you're satisfied. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the parchment paper out and push my smiley down and use my squeegee here to press it down. Then flip it over again and remove the backing from the black section. And then last but not least, we can add it to this part, the keep smiling part, which again, we can use our parchment paper to get our smile where we want it. So I'm just gonna have that transfer tape kind of hanging out, and I'm gonna get my smile placed where I think it looks good. That looks good. I'm gonna put my transfer tape right here, and then I'm gonna pull this parchment paper out, and then all you have to do is press this back down, and then you can use your squeegee and burnish this. Now I'm going to trim off the transfer tape. You can definitely save this piece down here to be used again for something else, which I tend to like stick it either back on to the transfer tape roll or like the side of my desk or whatever, but you can absolutely use that again. And now look at this, you have your SVG made into your very own decal. Now I'm not sure what I'm gonna put this on, but this can go on lots of things. You put this on your car, a notebook, a water bottle. It's a little big for that, but you'd make it smaller. But you size it for whatever you wanna put this on, and look how cute. And we made this in just a few minutes using Kittl. I hope you learned some tips and tricks to working with Kittl to create your own SVG. And don't forget that you can sign up with Kittl and save 25% using code CORINNEYT. If you want to see other tutorials with Kittl, let me know down below if there's something specific that you want to learn how to do. And again, I will link all my other Kittl videos down below for you so that you too can learn how to use this to create your own really fun designs, mock-ups, and so much more. I hope to show you how to use this to make lots of fun things, so be sure to stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed here. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.